He always thought fear was loud, a shaking voice, sweaty hands, a racing heart. But the fear that controlled him was silent. Ion was known as a quiet boy, not because he had nothing to say, but because he was afraid to be wrong, afraid to fail, afraid to disappoint, afraid to try. Every opportunity in his life arrived like a door, and every time fear whispered, "What if you're not enough?" So he stayed where it was safe. One evening, after another missed chance, Ion sat alone in a park, his shoulders heavy, his thoughts louder than the world around him. An old man sat beside him, calm, observant, kind eyes. He didn't ask what was wrong. He simply said, "Fear feels big when you stare at it, but it shrinks when you walk through it." Ion gave a faint smile. If it were that easy, I would have done it already. The old man pointed to a small pond nearby. "Come," he said. They walked slowly toward the water. The surface reflected the sky, but a thin layer of fog hovered above it. "What do you see?" the old man asked. "Fog," Ion replied. The old man picked up a small stone and tossed it into the pond. Ripples spread. The fog broke apart. The reflection became clear. "Fear is like this fog," the old man said softly. "It looks solid from a distance, but it disappears when you disturb it." Ion listened, but doubt still lived inside him. "What if I fail?" he asked quietly. The old man smiled. "Then you learn what you call failure. Life calls direction." That night, Ion went home with something unfamiliar. Not confidence, but curiosity. The next morning, he did something small. He raised his hand in class. His voice trembled. His answer wasn't perfect. But something surprising happened. Nothing broke. No one laughed. The world didn't end. Fear lost its first battle. Days passed. He spoke a little more, tried a little more, failed sometimes. But each time he acted, the fog thinned. Then came the real test. Ion had a chance to present his idea in front of hundreds of people. The old Ion would have said no instantly. Fear returned stronger than ever. What if you embarrass yourself? What if they judge you? What if you freeze? That night, he couldn't sleep. His heart pounded like a warning drum. And then he remembered the pond, the fog, the ripple. Fear doesn't leave before action. It leaves after. So he made a decision. He wouldn't wait to feel brave. He would act while afraid. The day of the presentation arrived. His hands shook. His throat felt dry. His mind screamed, "Run." But he stepped forward anyway. One step, then another. He began speaking. At first, his voice was weak, but something changed as he continued. Not the fear, the focus. He stopped fighting fear and started delivering his message. Minutes passed. When he finished, there was silence, then applause. Not because he was perfect, but because he was real. For the first time in his life, Ion felt something stronger than fear. Pride. Later that evening, he returned to the park. The old man was there again, as if he had been waiting. "I was still afraid," Ion admitted. The old man nodded. "Courage is not the absence of fear," he said. "It is a decision that something else matters more." Ion looked at the pond. Clear, still, calm. "I thought defeating fear meant removing it," he said. The old man shook his head gently. "No," he replied. "Defeating fear means moving forward, even when it walks beside you." Years later, Ion would stand in front of many people, teaching them the same lesson. Fear never disappeared from his life, but it stopped controlling his choices. He learned something most people never do. Fear is not a wall. It is a door, and the handle is always on your side. Remember this: you don't defeat fear by waiting. You defeat fear by acting, not when you feel ready, but when you decide to grow. Because on the other side of fear is a life you keep postponing. And the moment you step forward despite fear, you don't just change your situation, you change yourself. And that is how fear loses forever.